Like heat indexes
and-
constantly hit 100,
and-
and then, for instance, this winter is actually really a significant number of degrees above normal. Like, there have been a number of days this month where it's been hit 60.
We brought together 7 people who support the funding to slow down climate change.
I support funding for slowing down global warming.
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 One is a liar. If the group discovers who the liar is, they split a cash prize. If the liar survives, they win the entire prize. This is Odd One Out.
Do we go in a circle?
Alright.
No, remember, we don't go in a circle. Because
Okay, so guys,
will smite.
what I was thinking is using what I believe is right, what I believe is true, and just use the facts that I know, and maybe either educate, not really educate, but inform some others that were not really aware of the global issue of global warming. Guys, global warming, go.
Yes.
Yes. Global warming bad. End of story.
So, you see, like, for example, you see Antarctica's flag. It's the form of it. And they have to keep changing it because it keeps shrinking.
And we want our future generations to live safely and happily and healthy on on this planet. And it's a nice planet, and honestly, it would be a shame if we just let it go to waste as it's currently going right now. We got to do something to stop it. And I personally believe that we have to do something, and the only way is to pressure our governments in spending the right money in the right places. In this case would be slowing down global warming.
Even on Antarctica, like, for instance, here in New Jersey, like this past summer was really, really hot. Like, heat indexes constantly hit 100, and then, for instance, this winter is actually really a significant number of degrees above normal. Like, there have been a number of days this month where it's been hit 60.
You know what's weird is I live down in the south, like way down south, and it could be cold, it could be hot.
Just to give you guys an idea, people constantly use the North Pole, Antarctica, polar bears as an example, but it's not limited to only that. We got to start looking locally. It's look in your own home. What can you do to stop global warming? And I think that's how we got to see things. We got to stop seeing things as if it's only in one place or in another. It's the whole world who's affected by this, and this is a serious concern for everyone.
Because and then China too, because of like the super increased pollution. The pollution.
Yeah,
and
worse.
And even though, because believe it or not, America's a pretty small percentage of the world's pollution, but the countries that have the big pollution or have like over 1 billion people population are China, India, and that's where main pollution comes from because there's lots of poverty and everything.
Guys,
So,
Butter has a point.
Some of the parts of Louisiana is starting to deteriorate, even where I live.
Digital. What do you think about this?
Digital, because he was while we were everyone was talking, and he was more quiet than the others.
So from where I live,
I literally said I gave my point already though with the whole New Jersey situation, but the problem is the current government's also kind of turning a blind eye to it, and they're like, "Oh, it's not a real thing. That's not happening. That's just something. There's just some weird trends, and it has something to do with what I think."
Well,
so
what about more important than global warming?
That's Republicans.
By the way, what about all the fossil fuels and all of those things? Why is nothing being done about this?
Yeah, why is
right? Why are we focusing so much on
it can so easily be stopped.
Right. Like we could just start putting restrictions on like fossil fuel emission and whatnot.
The only thing, well, not the only thing, but the basic thing that everyone needs in order to be concerned and know about the issue is education, and not everyone's getting that. And like people should get that, and I mean that's part of the problem. why is nothing being done about all this stuff? It's maybe because like 50% of the planet is not aware of it.
It's also
I'm sure a
it's
lot of people are
also
aware of it. It's just they don't want to do anything about it.
I mean,
well, I
yeah,
think
also
most
that, but
it's red lights crap.
Oh shit.
I was gonna make a good point.
I looked at Butter and he wasn't really talking much, except he said like a few lines.
Rock was not being smart. He lacks the knowledge of global warming of some sort.
Well, I didn't really talk much. I didn't get time or the window to talk because when Charles asked me what I thought about global warming and that I try to speak, but then Surat just interrupted me, and yeah.
If you believe that the mole is still in the square and you wish to continue the game, hold up the card that has your name on it.
Continue the game. Okay.
all right.
Can I make a point? Like, Tori, why didn't you raise your hand?
Guys, Butter, we haven't heard much about you. You said like 2 lines in Roblox chat. We'd like to know more about who you are, what you stand for, what your favorite drink is. You get the point. Just talk.
Fanta.
That wasn't a
Get on,
question,
man.
guys.
You wrote it out.
Oh my god.
Global warming stinks. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, exactly, Rock. Exactly.
We're gonna just wait. No, let's not wait for Butter. Let's just let him type in and let's hear about you guys.
Yeah, man.
Well,
I mean, I'll say what I need to say about the
We only
beginning.
have 1 minute, and that's we have to keep going.
Well, let's
Well,
keep
Yeah,
going.
we probably have like 30 seconds left.
I mean,
I want to know why Tori, why didn't they put up their card when
Because
we
I
believe
think
it's
we
the mole?
voted him out.
Oh, that seems a little sus.
So, guys, here's one.
Yeah.
Electric cars. What do you guys think about that? Is that going to save the
Electric
planet?
cars. Everybody's making them.
I know,
Yeah,
but they're so expensive to make, so I think that's a problem. That's why
They're,
we're
they're
not
more
having them all
expensive,
yet.
but it's gonna
it's
help.
turning
Oh,
Republican.
no. Here
But,
we
you
go.
know,
Hey, we told you.
Here we go again.
I had my suspicions of Galaxy Butter and Tori. I was suspicious of him as well because he was also quiet in the first round, but he really didn't say anything the second time around. I don't think he said anything.
Please vacate the premises.
Yeah, go
So long. Bye bye.
to Lounge Island.
If you believe that the mole is still in the square and you wish to continue the game, please hold up the card that has your name on it.
Okay, guys, listen up. Butter.
Oh, Butter started talking.
I think Global started doing its thing when we
Great sentence.
When we what? When we what?
No,
Sir,
you
this
make
is
such a good point.
Butter. This is not match game.
Started the industrial. Oh
No,
yes.
not when
That
we
started back in
stared the
1820.
Industrial Revolution.
That started back in 1820.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I think it's always been a problem, and it's just affecting people at the moment right now. It started affecting people like big time only a few decades ago, but it's always been a big problem in the world.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Well,
And we've just recently started to see it, and we've just recently started to take action, but it's still not enough. We still got to go with more action, more investments, more pushing our governments. I had suspicions on Buttersoil because he was always repeating the same things over and over again. I noticed how he was always talking about CO2, the Industrial Revolution, and whatnot, and his facts were always based off of that, as if that was all he knew. So maybe he was the mole.
You know, with the big cities, everything, and very densely populated areas, that doesn't help. And then the fact when, if you go down south or up north during like the summer, it is so humid you feel like you're suffocating, and it feels wet.
On the 25th of December, there was no snow. It was not a white Christmas. It was a green Christmas. And that's
Yeah,
not
you
an
wanna
Elvis
listen to
song, by
this?
the way.
So, sometimes you'll have, Christmases where you don't get any snow, and heck, like a couple years ago in February, it was like 70 degrees.
Okay,
So,
Rock.
Yeah.
Yes,
Rock.
wait,
When
hi.
you
wait, can I
when you
say-
go to
can I-
McDonald's and you get a hamburger, and what do you do with the wrapper? Do you just throw it on the ground, or do you put it in the garbage, or do you
All right, well,
compost it, or
two
whatsoever?
things. I
Wait,
don't
Charles.
buy I don't buy burgers from McDonald's.
You
And
get my
second of all,
point. You still get my
and
point.
second of all, even if I do get something like in a takeout, I'll throw it in the garbage can. Then once the garbage can's full, I'll take it out, throw it in the garbage can, and wait for the garbage people to come.
Well,
You guys just keep talking. To be honest, you guys are making points that I would
Well-
be making myself.
so
There's
Ross
no
has been
point in
talking a
saying
lot.
something twice.
I
Well-
tried to talk. I tried to talk.
Well,
Talk.
I wasn't suspicious of Sirats because he was given lots of valid points earlier, and I was just rambling about it. So I thought he was good. Galaxy and Butter are the two people I was like just real suspicious of.
It is affecting us. It is affecting us in some way. Every
Uh-oh.
year. Oh
Circle
no.
showing red.
Well,
Quiet.
every year, like
Shh.
We have a tie between Galaxy and Sirats.
oh
Of course,
shit.
because
So-
everyone else was speaking during the 5 minutes.
I'm trying.
So-
I was
Is it-
trying to speak, Charles.
Okay, each of you guys have 30 seconds. Present your case. Galaxy, you are up first.
I'm not the most because I try to speak. I'm trying to be more vocal, and maybe I'm not the best at being the most vocal, but I'm trying to give them proper facts.
I'm of course not the mole either. Climate change is a very severe issue, and I think a lot of people are ignoring it right now because they're thinking, "Oh, it's not a big deal right now." But the fact is that if we don't do anything about it right now, very soon will become a very, very big problem. There's definitely work we need to do, and I mean, there's stuff we can do right now that the government's turning a blind eye to. And I was trying to speak, as I said, but I was continuously being spoken over by the other three because they were very vocal, and I was trying to chime in, but it was very difficult.
I was a bit skeptical about who I was thinking of, but I was still going to stick with Butter. However, I must admit that Galaxy's speech was very focused on how he was not talking a lot and how me and Rock were vocalizing a lot about. When Sirats' speech was more based on the facts about the global warming and was more on topic than Galaxy's speech. So I did find that weird how Galaxy was seemingly trying to avoid the subject.
Every time. Every time. Wait, but I'm not the first one. That's not a fact. I was looking at Charles a lot. No, he's been talking over me and Ross like the entire time. I tried to be as much vocal as possible, but
If you believe that the mole is still in the square and you wish to continue the game, hold up the card that has your name on it. If the lights turn red, that means the mole is still in the square and you have lost the game. If the lights turn green, that means you have voted out the mole and you split the 50 Robux between the four of you.
Damn it, who is it?
Oh.
I swear to God, it's Butter. I've been voting him.
I think it's probably Butter or
Oh.
Charles.
I voted for Butter since the beginning, and he never got out. It's obviously him.
If you were the mole, please step forward.
Corey, you stepped backwards.
Butter, of course.
What was I saying?
I knew that.
What was I saying?
I knew it.
Just wow.
See,
I was
Wow.
the only one who voted for Butter from beginning to
No,
end.
no, Charles.
Wow,
Me
Butter.
too.
Wow.
Now he wasn't the one talking.
I'm gonna be honest here. I was not really surprised, but I must admit that in the last round, as we were talking earlier, Galaxy may have been the mole because of his speech. Therefore, I knew it was somewhat. I somewhat knew that it was Butter I was sticking with them the whole time. However, it could have been Galaxy for the reasons I listed.
I was not surprised that Butter was the mole because I knew from the beginning. It was just his involvement in the game. As I said, he just said some lines, and yeah, he didn't really talk much throughout the game.
Pollution, bad air quality, bad air breathing quality, fossil fuels, and everything. And you see lots of like around where I live, it's like murky and green, and it's just gross. And yeah, that's why I think that it's a big issue and that it shouldn't be, and it's not taken as seriously as it should be.
Ocean levels are rising. I don't even know how much, but it's growing a lot.
Well, you see, global climate change is a big issue around the world, and I care about the future generations, my future children, their children, and so on, so on. I think I speak for everyone when we say that we want them to live in a safe, happy, and healthy environment. And right now, the way things are going, that's not what we're headed for. And I still believe that it's not too late to change that. And if we just all come together as one world and use our resources, our strengths, and just do what we can to slow this issue down or completely stop it.
Well, global warming is a serious matter, and it is changing our lives, and it's changing the next generation that's gonna come after us. It's gonna change the whole planet, is what it's gonna do. And I think it should be stopped or slowed down. And we have to do everything, and I mean everything, to slow down global warming.